International Women's Day, or week, rather.
The very same to you.
Yes, and of course, and congratulate your wife, because your wife is she's an educator, and of course that's indeed a great leadership position for our youth, and of course a dedication to the community.
I will pass that along. I tell you what, if everyone had a teacher as committed and as hardworking as my wife, they'd be doing okay.
Awesome. So we took in a great event yesterday. I mean, as we know, we had some weather issues, but that didn't stop the many, many people who traveled to come and take in the annual luncheon for the International Women's Day, which was held in North River at All Hallows School. And it was just wonderful. It was so refreshing to see a school gymnasium full of strong women. We had the Lieutenant Governor join us. He was the keynote speaker yesterday, as well as Minister Lisa Dempster was there, the MHA for the District of Harbour, Maine, which is Helen Conway Ottenheimer, and myself, and the leader of the third party, Alison Coffin, and as well as many municipal leaders there and councillors and mayors. And it was organized by Joanne Morrissey, who was currently the mayor of North River. So it was just wonderful and refreshing, when you stand in front of a room and you see a lot of strong, great women, a lot of women in that room who were educators, teachers here who taught me in school here at Ascension Collegiate and Holder Redeemer School, and also a wonderful performance put off by the Celeste Choir, which is directed by Sonia Goss and accompanied by Deanne Dillahunty on the piano. It was just a beautiful event to talk about the things that are important, the progress that has been made since women won the right to vote around 1918. But, Patty, as you know, there's still much, much more to do.
No question. So, what was on the agenda for what's left to accomplish? There's been some successes, as you rightfully point out, but still a long road to hoe. So what were the discussions like?
Well, systemic barriers that women face, getting elected to political office at any level of government, fundraising is something that comes up, childcare. Also, Patty, I attended an Equal Voice conference in Ottawa just last month. I was invited to come and be a panelist for that conference. Equal Voice, as you know, it's a group dedicated to empowering women and getting women elected to political office, a nonpartisan network, of course, very important to note. Ultimately, women need to support women. We will back as far as 1918 and then on to 1927, that women were finally considered persons by the law, by the language written in the law. And, do you know it wasn't until then that women could be eligible to be nominated or appointed to the Senate even. So, again, it's the same systemic barriers that are still out there today and that are very real. I mean, I'm the first woman MHA to represent the District of Harbour Grace Portagrave. Very proud of that. And but it's like you said. I mean, it certainly is much more to do.
Yeah, there absolutely is. I don't think there's any dispute there, and hopefully the celebrations or awareness campaigns like an International Women's Day. Hopefully it's not the one-offs, it's the ongoing work year-round if we're going to see positive change. And I appreciate your comments on that this morning. Is there anything else you want to discuss while we have you?
Well, Patty, as you know, for the first time in our history, Bay Roberts will be hosting the 2020 Newfoundland and Labrador Summer Games. So it's a very exciting event. And so far, just last year, my colleagues and I, we were able to announce $200,000 to support the games, to get the infrastructure in the place. And just recently, Minister Dempster joined me out here. And, of course, we collaborated with the town of Bay Roberts, and we were able to announce $110,000 more. So, I mean, again, this is something that's well needed here in the area. It's a team approach. I mean, Bay Roberts is, yes, the host town, but as you know, it takes a lot of work from a lot of communities, a lot of volunteers. And so I like to call it the Conception Bay North approach, because other communities such as Upper Island Cove and Carbonear will also be assisting. We'll be utilizing their facilities such as the pool in Carbonear, the baseball fields in Upper Island Cove. And so, it's really coming together well. Volunteers, as you know, none of these things are possible without the dedication and, the volunteer power. And I'm very confident, and I'm really, really looking forward to, we're going to put off a great games, and everybody here is really banding together, to make this work, and it's coming along quite nicely.
It can be positive for the region, and I'm a big supporter of these types of initiatives, as you know, and boy, the volunteer effort, people don't get it. I mean, just to pull off a weekend tournament is one thing, but when you're pulling off a games, the amount of effort and time and energy and dedication is off the chart. So congratulations to everyone involved at that level, and hopefully everyone has a successful, safe games. Before we say goodbye and take another call this morning, Pam, with two entrants looking to be the Liberal leader, Dr. Fury and John Abbott, who has your support?
I've come out and I have supported Dr. Andrew Fury. Andrew's a friend of mine that I've mentioned and I've said publicly, and during the last general election, he was very supportive of me. Came out here knocking on doors in the beautiful community of Upper Island Cove. So Dr. Fury certainly has my support. That said, however, I'm certainly committed to working with whoever comes out on top. As you know, it's a team effort. And Patty, it's very important that all members of the House of Assembly and all sides of the House work together, because remember, we are there on behalf of the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. And first and foremost, I'm committed to the people. Again, the people elect you, they put you there, and ultimately that's the first priority for me as an MHA. So I wish everyone good luck in this. And there's a lot of work to do. So I'm certainly committed to doing that.
Yeah, and it becomes further complicated when we see stories like what's dominating international headlines, stock market, price of oil, and on it goes. Appreciate your time, Pam. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Take care.
Bye-bye. Pam Parsons, the Liberal member for Portagrave. Is it Harbour Grace, Portagrave?